Welcome to Shovelware Diggers. Our dig team is currently excavating the Softkey Shareware 2000 hit games 2CD collection. You can find a link in the video description listing the entire directory structure of this archive. Here's what our diggers have for week 210. For more information on how to join the dig team, simply follow the Patreon link in the video description. Now, without further ado, let's get to it. First up, we have a new digger, Justin Hewlett, who's dug up DOSGAMES /arcade3/stars3. So apologies if there's more background noise than normal, but it's a really noisy day today, and I only have a small window to record this, so doing it now. And apparently this is just a very small executable file. No documentation, no readme, oh, whatever, stars3. So apparently made February 91 by a Dave Smith, aka the Changeling. Upload due to severe lack of download credits. Or uploaded due to severe lack? Okay. Level 1 to 6 or 0 to quit. 1. Okay, so this is basically a snake game. Actually, it's a little different from a typical snake game, because it looks like the way this works is... Well, first of all, it's weird that the sound effects are like sometimes there and sometimes not. So yeah, it seems like the length of your snake always gets bigger. So the idea is to get the thing that's on the screen before you hit yourself or something that you've already dropped down. At least that's what I'm guessing. Let's see what happens if I run into myself. It just ends. Okay, what about level 2? Well, it's still kind of slow. Let's try level 4. Okay, it's a little faster now. So the controls do allow you to anticipate a little. So if you hit 2 controls back to back... Okay, you can't. Apparently it can't go too fast, otherwise it won't work. Yeah, the controls actually seem to work fairly well for this game. But then, as we take a look at it here, it's actually really simple when it comes down to it. Although I think it is actually getting even faster the more I play. Whoops. Yeah, the controls are not perfect. If you push the keys too soon together, then it will only register it as 1. So, that's a problem. But yeah, like if I push up immediately after this star, I go up. So, the controls do anticipate to some degree, just not perfectly. And yeah, it's definitely getting faster the longer I play it for. And yeah, you do die if you run into something that you've already dropped down. So I guess that's basically the goal of the game, is just get as high a score as you can. And you're doing it while playing a fairly rudimentary snake-type game. Though I can already see one potential problem now that I just picked up that 1 star near the top corner. What if a star appeared? Well, actually, let me test something. Aha. So I was about to say, what if a star appeared, like, in that top corner there? Like, how would you get that and then get out of there? But you can actually double back the way you came because the line you created disappears. Like that, see? But you have to make sure you anticipate that ahead of time, otherwise you're just going to appear outwards and then go back on the spot you just created, so... And I guess this program was probably freeware too, just judging by the fact that it was clearly uploaded to a BBS by the person who created it. And there didn't seem to be any, like, licensing fees or anything like that, which, you know, given the fact that this is incredibly simple, doesn't surprise me that the guy was offering it for free. So yeah, that was Stars, an incredibly basic, but... well, it's an incredibly basic game, but it does work perfectly fine, so that's better than can be said for some things with more complexity. Next up, JP Ronnie has dug up DOSGAMES /arcade2/PRESSLUC. I'm gonna guess some kind of game called Press Your Luck, or something like that. Given the PYL that we're seeing in some of these files here, I'm thinking I'm on the right track. Although I'm going to have to turn the cycles down a bit here, because it looks like the file dates are 1989. So, let's see. There's a press.bat. Let's type that out. You know, wasn't there like a Wasn't there like a game show on television called Press Your Luck? Like, this might be based on that. And if that's the case, this would probably be Wares in that event, because this might be like a commercial release of that. The only thing that I'm noticing here is that the executables are very small. Okay, that's kind of weird. Looking at the batch file contents there, it's almost like it's trying to put the game into a permanent demo mode, potentially. I don't know, that's just very weird. Well, whatever. Let's just run it, see what happens. I got a cursor. Maybe this does need more cycles than just typical low-end system. Oh yeah, I turned the cycles up and it suddenly worked fine. Okay, I was kind of right that the batch file is kind of stuck in an infinite loop now, because... yeah, it's constantly bringing me back to this name my player screen when I try to quit, because I wanted to restart it to get it to work right, so just a second here. Okay, this time I'm gonna skip on using the batch file so that I don't end up in an infinite loop again. And I'm just gonna type in the commands manually. So this was the file it wanted to run first. So this PSI PYLI program. Now it is kind of a... okay, there it goes. Yeah, the sound doesn't exactly sound right. Yeah, I'm not sure, like... and now it suddenly got slower again? That was weird. But yeah, this is definitely, definitely wares of some kind, because this looks like an actual proper program here. So, I for instructions. 3 contestants compete against each other to answer multiple choice questions and win cash and prizes. And I like that those are in quotes, because this is not this is just a video game, so you're not actually winning cash and prizes, you're just winning, like, fictitious cash and fictitious prizes. Anyways, playing the game. Main game rounds. The main game rounds, contestants answer multiple choice questions and are awarded spins to be used later on the bonus board. Questions come on the screen line by line. First player who thinks he knows the answer presses the space bar, or any of the lower joystick buttons, until his character's spin box flashes. He then presses enter, or the joystick fire button. Answering player types in his answer, then presses enter. It's kind of a weird way of doing it, but whatever. There's actually a lot of rules to this game. I'm going through several screens here. And it's got the whole Hall of Champions thing as well, so it's clearly been put together in a similar fashion to like the Wheel of Fortune games and such. So P to start program. So now look, how that brought me back to the DOS prompt now. So now we want to run the P program here. Now I wonder if it's actually going to remember some of the stuff that I typed in before, because it seemed to be remembering some of the stuff I was typing in. But anyway, so we have to choose the players here. So which terrifying CGA person do I want to be? I think I'm going to be the guy in the top middle. So, computer player there, and then me there, computer player, and that's it. So I don't get to choose the lower 3? Okay. So which sport can boast champions like Andre the Giant, Swedish Angel, and George's George? Enter answer. Oh wait, you actually have to type in... like, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's wrestling? Yeah. Okay, so what professional sport is depicted in Robert Redford's movie The Natural? I've never actually heard of this movie. So I'm not sure entirely what's going on, because it waits for me for a moment, and then... The Natural. I'd almost have to say baseball for that, but... oh yeah, I got it. Computer players didn't. In what foreign city is the famous residence known simply as Number 10 Downing Street? Isn't that London? I think that's London. Yeah, that was London. So like, I'm not entirely certain, like, what is going on here. I'm just sort of putting it. Oh, did it want me to actually type it in there? Okay, that was weird. Okay, so bonus round 1. So what do I do? Just hit. Oh, got a lot of symbols now. Okay, so I think I just earned $750. Maybe? And this time I think I earned 300 and an extra spin. So I guess I'm still going for more stuff. Oh wait, that's like... What kind of animation was that? Oh, there goes all my money. I think I got 1 spin left though, so... Ooh, we got the big bucks, which is apparently $1,000? Okay then. So what are you probably interested in if you subscribe to Ring Magazine? I'm just sort of thinking to myself now, imagine if we're talking about a magazine that's about the ring. No, it's probably going to be boxing. Yeah. Like, what else could it possibly be? Weddings? Seriously? Out of every 5 newlywed men, how many said their life has become more exciting since they got married? Well, now, wait a minute. What kind of answer are you expecting for this? Because, like, I mean, if I hit the button to enter the answer manually, I have to type it in. Okay, so I wanted a number. So out of 5, I'm going to say 2. Yeah. Because marriage doesn't really change a lot of things when it comes down to it. Which sport begins with a face-off? That would be... Well, I have to spell it right. So, like, do I get any bonus for that? Oh, I got a lot of bonus for that. Rounded off to the nearest 10,000. What's the current annual pension of an American president? Well, this is gonna be, like, so old by this point. There was 89 for the file dates, right? So... Oh, that's not fair. These are too close. I'm gonna say 70. You know, the funny thing is my guesses tend to be turning out correct right now. So now you get to see the CPU pick some of these. Oh. Is that like another lose all your money thing? Hard to tell because she doesn't have any money. Well, she got one of those, character cards or whatever it means. Okay, so she got 300 in a spin. And she passed her spins to me? Okay, why would you do something like that? Well, that's $800 there. And then another $750. Oh, there's that thing again. I'm not sure what's going on. Well, that was just $8,000 right there. You know what? Screw it, I'm just gonna pass. Because that's $10,000. I'd like to see someone catch up to that. Oh, never mind. Pixie just got $3,000 worth on a plane trip. And another $3,000 plus a spin. Maybe I shouldn't have passed up. Oh, she's passing her spins to me. So I'm guessing I have to spin now? Well, that's fine. I got $1,750 more, so... whatever. So, is this like the end of the game, or what? Apparently somebody named Carol played this beforehand. Because I sure didn't put that Carol score in there. And that's it. It dropped me back to DOS. Okay then, so that was Press Your Luck in a very unusual CGA form. Like, I mean, clearly developed in the same manner as the Wheel of Fortune games, but it seems a lot more random than Wheel of Fortune. So, I don't know, maybe the television game show was better, but that was just chaos. And our last thing for today from ZinfidelZT is DOSGAMES /adventure/drag2_12. Something called Dragon 2 version 1.2 or something like that? I don't know. So, dir/w. Okay, there wasn't that many more files. I do see the svga256.bgi, so we might end up with some SVGA graphics here. We do have a doc file, we do have a file id.diz, an executable, and a lot of castle files, as well as a dude.dat. So maybe that's like someone who tried playing this before. Part of me almost feels like this is going to be that Bob's Dragon Hunt thing or something that we saw really early on in the show, but I might be wrong about that. Okay, apparently this is a game called Dragon's Domain 2, VGA adventure game that is a sequel to Dragon's Domain game. Okay, it doesn't really tell us a lot. So edit drag2.doc. So Dragon's Domain 2 Restoration version 1.20. So apparently made in 1992 by an Ed Toten III. Welcome to the Dragon's Domain 2. This game was inspired by Adventure on the Atari game system ages ago. It's funny calling it ages ago in 1992 when it literally was many ages ago by this point. But by that point in time, it would have only been something like 17-ish years. Or no, actually less than that, more like 13 years, I think. But in any case, so the concepts and goals are quite simple indeed, but actually accomplishing it is a different matter. You will have to face many perils in your quest. 3 great dragons are waiting to stomp on you, and many other creatures guard key points in your quest, including skeletons, fire elementals, ogres, ghosts, and more. Sounds familiar, eh? I'm guessing that's because this is the same kind of stuff you fought in the first Dragon's Domain game? Okay, so it looks like we can use the numeric keypad for movement, which is a good thing, but we also have a drop object control. We have quit, save, and load. We have a pause button and an accelerated time and restart, but apparently there's no other controls? So it's really just movement and dropping objects? Oh, we've got a story here. This is going to be good. Long, long ago, in the land of Tiki Tiki Naubana, there's a powerful wizard. He's a very good wizard. He defended the land for many centuries against evil. One day, his dragons, Vexton, Rantor, and Kelwith, turned against him and took the sacred chalice and hid it. With the chalice gone, the wizard was all but powerless. Many evil creatures quickly sprang forth and covered the countryside. These were the last of the dragons. Once they were a powerful and honorable race, not evil in the least. But the last 3 dragons resented being controlled by a wizard. They forgot that the agreement was they would get paid and could leave whenever they wanted to. They then turned to a life of evil. Okay. A hero arrived, you, to help save the land from imminent domination by the evil dragons. Soon the chalice was returned and all was good. Many years passed, the old castles were rebuilt and repainted, and many changes occurred. After a long time, the dragons returned. They have aged quite a bit. So have you, for that matter, but that's a different story. Town elders devised a plan. You'll retrieve the eggs that the dragons have laid. Since the dragons won't live too much longer, these eggs are the last hope for restoring the proud race of good dragons. You must retrieve the eggs and bring them to the circle of blocks south of your starting position so that they may be raised properly. So basically, this is a game of abduction and indoctrination. Great. Just great. Okay, one thing that concerns me is that the game is encouraging to save often and reload if you lose more energy than necessary in a confrontation. So the game is basically encouraging save scumming. So that's not a good sign. And apparently this program is being distributed on the freeware concept, but still he's asking for a $5 donation if you think that the game is enjoyable or ridiculous or whatever. And I'll at least send him a joke if you don't want to send him money. Okay, then. Okay, so Drag 2. Dragon's Domain 2 Restoration. Kind of having to wonder now if the original Dragon's Domain is on here, or if we saw it before and I've simply forgotten. Well, that sounded familiar for some reason. So the game wasn't kidding about its, adventure-inspired roots, because this definitely feels like adventure right now. Because I do actually have adventure for my 2600, so I have indeed played it, and it's kind of a pretty basic game when it comes down to it, and it really is all about finding objects, picking up objects, and bringing them to appropriate locations. So that seems to be the vibe we're going for here. Although it's weird that there was an SVGA thing, because these are not SVGA graphics. These are very much VGA graphics. So, I don't know. And yeah, right now we've got a bit of a maze that we're going through. So, doesn't seem to be the best way to start the game. Like, I mean, I know Adventure was like that too, but at least in Adventure, the maze was very basic when it came down to it because of the limitations of the 2600 hardware. Here, though, the maze is a bit more complex. Okay, well, we got one of the castles, but we can't go into it at the moment. But now I've got to go all the way back. Oh, that's rough. You know what? It's probably faster to just quit and reboot the game. Yeah. Actually, let's just drop down a save right here. Just in case I have to restore back to that point. Okay, so we clearly can't go in the castle in the current state, although we do have a key here. Okay, so I picked up a key. Although that's interesting, though. In the Adventure on the 2600, you would actually touch an item and it would sort of attach to you. So the item would be, like, dragged around. Whereas here, you actually do seem to have an inventory of some kind. But I'm guessing if I push D, yeah, it drops it into the world. Okay. Of course, I'm also remembering, too, that in Adventure on the 2600, you also have this sort of, well, dragon going around trying to eat you or breathe fire on you or whatever. So there might be dragons roaming around here as well. Like, it would make sense, but... Okay, so... Oh, well, that didn't do anything. How do I... Oh, wow. I actually have, like... Okay, pushing spacebar does this weird, Yeah, it's almost like I'm shooting, like, lances or something. Okay, I'm just gonna start back at the beginning again, because, again, it's like, I can't really go anywhere other than up to that gate, or this way, to where we found that key, and I couldn't figure out how to get that key to work. So it might not be... The key might not be what we need for this. Oh! We got, like, a fire elemental? Yeah, I don't know what this line thing that I'm doing is, but whatever. Oh, we got some kind of gem here. Okay, we can only carry one item at a time. I got another way up here. Oh, I got a couple items here. Yeah, I'm not sure what this is about. So we got like this green key, which we can carry alongside the other key? Okay, that's kind of weird. Yeah, I don't know what any of these items do. Oh, we got another castle here. I'm gonna go back for the other key in case that was the key to open this castle. In fact, let's just drop the chalice whatever thing there. Grab the key. So does this key open this castle? It doesn't look it. Still have no idea why spacebar does that. Oh goody, another maze. If this is just a long wraparound to it... Whoa! Okay, there's dragons. I found the dragons. Well, found a couple of them anyways. Yeah, there's a lot of just random objects scattered around, and I have no idea what any of them do. Oh, there's that green dragon again. Yes, they do follow you between screens. Oh boy. Although I do seem to be slightly faster. And apparently the dragons do get confused if you're on the edge of the screen or something. Whoa, both dragons can appear at the same time. That's not good. Oh hey, the dragon stopped for a... Oh, never mind. But anyways, that was Dragon's Domain 2. I think I probably am not gonna really get much further than this, because I have no idea what all these items are. I have no idea what I'm supposed to be accomplishing. Like, I mean, the original adventure kind of had that problem as well, where you weren't really sure what items would lead to what. Although I think the manual might have explained it to some degree with the original adventure, but I'm not sure about that, because I don't own the manual for the original adventure, so whatever. The fact is that this game does play a lot like it, so if it was intended as an homage to that game, then it actually fits that bill pretty well. But you would definitely need a lot of practice to figure out what exactly everything does in here, if it isn't explained in the text file, which it might be, but for now, I think that's enough of this one.